I was born in 1960 here in Fort Worth, Texas. My father, Dr. Bruce Jacobson, my mother, Patricia Jacobson. My father came from Wisconsin. He was born from an immigrant family. His parents came over from Scandinavia, Norway to be specific, and they settled in Wisconsin. And my father, at the age of 17, enlisted in the U.S. Navy, served his time there for 2 years. And when he was getting out of the Navy, he was on a train, and it stopped in Fort Worth, Texas. And his gunnery sergeant said, "Hey, Jake, you're a smart kid. There's a great school here called Texas Christian University. And so you need to check it out. I think you would do well here." So my father hopped off the train, went and enrolled at Texas Christian University. Well, knowing he was going to need a job to support that, because his parents were very poor, they were immigrants. He was raised in a home with no floors. In fact, they had a dirt floor. So he didn't have money to go to college. He needed to support himself. So he got a job as a soda jerk at a drugstore in Fort Worth, Texas. Well, lo and behold, my mother, Patricia Morrow, comes walking into the drugstore. Love at first sight. So they got married and gave birth to 7 children. I'm the oldest son. I'm Bruce Jr. So having been born in Fort Worth, Texas, we began to find out what my mother's family's heritage was. Well, she was a longtime Texan. In fact, her grandfather's name was Edward Perry. Now, Edward Perry was a courier for the Texas Army. He was captured by General de la Garza, who was commissioned by General Santa Anna. And so they captured him plus 2 other couriers. And fortunately for me, they spared my great-grandfather. And they let him go because they wanted him to deliver a message to the Texas Army with the idea that they could ambush them. And this was just prior to the Battle of Goliad. So very deep roots in the state of Texas. On my mother's side, strong immigrant roots from my father's side. Well, as I said, they met, had 7 children, and spent 58 years in marriage. Now, I was fortunate enough to be raised in a Christian home. Boy, my father taught me good work ethics. As a doctor, he had the means and the ability to really provide me anything he wanted, but he knew the value of a dollar. He had to work hard for it. So he instilled that in me. I worked very hard as a young man doing construction jobs, but what really turned for me was when he bought a horse ranch in Mahia, Texas, called Hillcrest Ranch. I cleaned more horse stalls, I baled more hay than any human being should have to. But I'll say now, as I look back on that part of my life, it put in me a great work ethic. And it's truly Texan to be on a horse ranch. And so we always thought it was cool, we always enjoyed it, loved to ride horses. And again, there's something to being raised on a ranch. And so I really appreciated that about my father and my mother.